everyone, it's me, Nasia, here to show you how to make yet another game using PowerPoint. These games are so useful when you're working online. A lot of the time, we just find online learning means that we've got to put in that extra effort to make sure our sessions are engaging and interesting and not a passive experience for our students. And so today we're going to look at how to make a Battleships game using PowerPoint. Again, I'm going to say this because I say this at every single tutorial that I make, that for you to be able to use this for virtual learning, you might need to then connect with your student via Zoom, because Zoom gives you the remote control option. I've not seen it on Microsoft Teams. I've not seen it on Google Meets. So unless some change is going to happen at some point, right now it's Zoom. That's my go-to platform. So let's have a look at how exactly we play this game. Go on to slideshow mode. And you just go ahead and click. Well, the student goes ahead and clicks, looking for that battleship. There it is. Oh, that's another one. That was quite lucky for me. And so that's how we make the game. Now, you'll notice that when you click on one of these words, it goes to a white page. I just want to say for Battleships, you might want to make sure you have this white page there, which is a blank slide, just so that the student doesn't end the slideshow and lose all their progress. But that's just a detail. What we're going to do now is have a look at how exactly we make this. So to make this game, we start off with brand new presentation, click onto the slide, hold down Control, hold down A, and you've selected everything on that page and hit delete. So the first thing you want to do is insert a table. So what you need to do is go onto the Insert tab, click Insert, go to Table, and you could pick a 5x5 or a 6x5. Let's go with the 6x5. What I'd then like you to do is hover around that table and you'll see these 4 arrows show up, and drag the table so that it's touching the corner of the slide. Then go to the other side and drag it down so that the table takes up the entire slide. Then hit Control A and you should be on Table Design. That tab should show up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to change the shading of the table. You'll see the option for shading and the option for borders. What I'd like us to do is go onto shading and make it no fill. Then go onto borders and say all borders. Perfect. Then what I'd like you to do is go onto insert again, select shapes, select rectangle, and make a rectangle that is the exact size of one of these cells. What we're going to do then is click on the shape and it should give us shape format. Go to shape outline, go down to weight and make it nice and thick. You could change the color if you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to build the animations into this one square, well, rectangle. And then we can just copy and paste it, because once you've built an animation into anything, a shape or an image, if you copy and paste it, not only does the shape or the image get copy and pasted, but so does the animation. So what we want to happen is we want that square to just that rectangle to disappear when we click on it. So we'll go up to animations. On the animations tab, you will have the actual animation. You also have something called a trigger. And this trigger tells us that if we set, what do I say? Like if you set a condition to that animation, then only when that thing happens will the animation happen. So if you don't do the trigger, then what ends up happening is then the animations are just numbered and they happen in that order. So you want to just utilize this trigger option so that we're saying when this particular image or shape is selected, then a particular action will happen. And it'll only happen if that shape or picture is selected. So what we want is we want this shape to disappear. And if you look, there's the number 1. So we want it to disappear, not just as the first one, because what if the student decides to click somewhere down here? Then it's not the first shape that they pick. So we want it to disappear in the trigger that rectangle, which is rectangle 4. And we know it's rectangle 4 because there are only 2 things on this page, a table and a rectangle. So we want it to disappear when rectangle 4 is selected. So if anything else is selected, that particular one won't go. Then click onto the shape and copy and paste it by doing Control-C for copy, Control-V for paste, and stick it down at the bottom. You can now select the first rectangle, hold down your Control button on your keyboard and click on the second one, and it'll let you select both. You don't want to do Control-A because Control-A means everything, including the table, is being selected, but we only want to select those 2 rectangles. And we're going to Control-C for copy, Control-V for paste. And I'm just going to line it up. And then I'm going to select the last rectangle, Control-C, Control-V, and there we have it. Now I'm going to select the first rectangle, hold down Control, and select the other ones, and then Control-C, Control-V, and we've got all of those. I'm going to Control-V again, just get another line, line it up quite nicely, and then I'm just going to hold down the Control button and select each and every rectangle because we've got 3 columns left. And there we go. We have got all of our rectangles. You might find the alignment of something is off and you can just go ahead and fix that. And then I'm going to click on the first rectangle, hold down Control and click on the rest. Remember, I'm not doing Control-A because I don't want to select the table that's underneath this. I only want these rectangles. Once you've selected them all, you go Control-X, go to your PowerPoint presentation. If you click onto the slide on that left-hand panel and hit enter, it'll open up a new slide. Select everything on that slide and delete it, and then hit Control-V. And those rectangles are there, and we're just going to stick them there for safekeeping. Now what I'd like you to do is your cursor should be blinking on one of the cells. So go ahead and take your cursor to the very first cell and drag it so that all the cells are selected. Go to the Home tab, increase your font. You might want to increase it to maybe 40. You can centralize your font, and you can make sure that you turn your font to be black. Now, what will happen is you'll find that the words might be a little bit too close to the top of each cell. So if you go here to the line spacing, it's under paragraph, there's line spacing. You can increase the number so that the word starts somewhere in the middle of that cell. So let's see. Yes, we're happy with that. So what we can do now is just do the words. And I'm going to start thinking about where I want my battleships to go. So this is for two closed syllable words. Don't worry if everything's showing up with that first letter being uppercase. We'll fix that later. Okay, we can see some are bold, some are not. So we'll just go ahead and select it again and make them all bold by doing Control B. Okay, beautiful. Just thinking of words is actually a lot more difficult than we realize. Thinking of more words. We've got a few up there. You can go along and do this with me. One of the things I do if I'm really stuck is I go onto Google and I just look for the word that the word structure that I'm working on. And then they will sort of, give me lists. So we can see some of the words have that capital letter to begin with, and we'll select all of the words. And we'll go into font, and you have this lowercase and uppercase A, and it says change case. We're going to go to lowercase. Now we want to stick in our battleships, right? So go into the Insert tab, click on Pictures, and go to Online Pictures. So I used to only pick submarines or something that looked like a battleship, but recently it became a fun game of hunt for whatever it is that my students interested in, Sanrio characters, wildcats, anything that they're interested in. So you don't have to make it about battleships. You can make it about anything that you want. For today, let's go with submarines. Or we could even just go with sea creatures. We could go with anything. You know what? Let's go with sea creatures. And don't forget, add PNG so that we have that transparent background. Oh, wow, we've got such lovely sea creatures. We can go ahead and select a number of them. And shrink them. And then we can just take off these little bits of words there. And we could stick this fish here. We could actually, you know what, we could take the word public because I wasn't expecting to see such lovely pictures, and I'm going to stick the word public there. I tried to just move it, but it didn't work. So then we can put the whole beautiful sea turtle there so it takes up all 4 cells. This shark, we could rotate it if we want and make it a little bit smaller and stick it there. And then we could take the word picnic and just move it somewhere else. Oops. I copied and pasted the cells because I am so used to just clicking on copy and paste. And I'll go to insert, go to online device and online pictures, and I'm going to pick seahorse because I did see a seahorse that I thought was quite nice. Let's go to Creative Commons and see if they've got any other options. And we can pick maybe that first one. Shrink it and get it to fit in there. Sort of proving to be a little bit of a squeeze. Beautiful. So now we'll go to the second slide and we'll, on our keyboard, press Control A to control everything because that's all we have on this slide. Control X to cut. Go to your game and hit Control V so that we have got all of those pictures covered. And we've got that extra buffer slide in case our student ends up clicking on a cell more than once, then they won't turn off the slideshow or end the slideshow and lose all that progress. So let's have a look at how the game works. So we can see this is a little bit misaligned, so we can go back and fix that. This last column. There we go. And we fixed it. And there we've got a fun game that's all about searching for sea creatures. That middle line is a little bit thick, so we could select everything on the first side and just close that gap a little bit. I think that looks, yeah, looks a little bit better. And just continue just making adjustments until it's as good as you want it to be, really. And you can just keep working on it. You can change the colors of the, squares and rectangles if your student has a particular color that they like. And it's quite fun, quite easy to make, and quite quick. So have a try at this game. Let me know how it goes with making it and with playing it. I look forward to seeing your comments below. Bye, everyone.